our massive country, there are card collectors throughout the land participating in the hobby. There's Mike of Junk Wax Hero and Graig of Midlife Cards. And while distance may separate them, here is where they come together to talk cards. Hey, buddy, how's it going? And, well, happy Thursday to you, but this is probably, people will hear us on Saturday or Sunday or Thursday or I don't know, but how are you?
Doing great. Back to work this week after had a week off. And yeah, I mean, you had 2 weeks off.
I did.
How
I
was
did
it
have
getting
2
back
weeks.
to work?
Oh, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. We have all new students when we come back, and the
Oh,
first 2 weeks with new students is completely exhausting if you run your classroom the way I do. And so I literally just feel like every day for 2 weeks, I feel like I got hit by a truck. So it's all good though, because I'm going to cap it off next weekend, not this weekend. So I don't know when people will hear this, but um, going to Disneyland. So that'll be relaxing.
that's awesome.
Not really relaxing, but it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So let's see. Any big news? I just heard that For Collectors secured a great location for trade night of the Strongsville show, and Chris from Missouri has secured like the if we want. I'm still calling it Strongsville, but Chris from Missouri secured a great location for the hangout on Friday night of the show formerly known as Strongsville.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it. I
Yeah, it's
fully intend to be there.
It's going to be fun. So what we decided for this week was you were going to surprise me with a couple of questions that I'm not prepared for, and I was going to do the same for you, and then just see where things take us. It's fun for me to pick other people's brains on what their opinion is on different things, and so that's where we're going to go. So do you want to be the asker first or the answerer first?
Yeah. Dueling questions, not to be confused with dueling banjos.
No, but dueling banjos, if you've ever seen that movie, little sketch.
Yes. It is a great movie, though.
It is.
Yeah. So I would actually like to start with something that you surprised me with this week in a text message.
Uh-oh.
I mentioned having a peanut butter and fluff sandwich,
Oh, yes.
and you had not only never had one, but you'd never heard of fluff. Is that right?
No, that's correct. I've never heard of fluff. Adam of Splendid Sports quickly sent a picture of fluff, and I must say that right off the bat, it looks just right up my alley. Like I don't I don't know what it is, but I know I like it, even though I've never had it.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain? Is it just marshmallow?
It's spreadable marshmallow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is just
And so you put on some peanut butter and then you put on some marshmallow and you have a peanut butter
mm,
and fluff sandwich. And then if you
mm,
really want to get fat, which we do, of course,
yes.
you put in a little chocolate, like a Hershey's syrup in the middle.
Mm, mm.
Man. Yeah.
What
So
about banana? Any banana in there?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
No. You
Well,
certainly could.
out in California, we have a high-end chocolate company called C's Candy. I think it's a California thing. Have you heard of C's?
SEA?
No. SEE. It's like Mrs. C's.
I feel like I've seen it, but no.
It's sort of like a Godiva or a Geargelly or that sort of thing. Anyway, they have all these different chocolates with all these different concoctions of things, and my go-to is called a Scotch Mallow, which is caramel, a layer of caramel with a bigger layer of marshmallow covered in milk chocolate, and it's my for Christmas, my brother got me a pound of it. of just
Whoa.
that one. And so I am a marshmallow guy.
Yeah. Well, fluff, which is short for fluffer nutter, is I believe it was invented in Maine, and it's mostly a northeastern thing. So I wasn't surprised at all that Adam has heard of it and knows it and probably has it. I don't have it very often. It's pretty rare, but we always have some in our cabinet. If we make fudge, we're making fudge with fluff.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
Hmm.
And the occasional sandwich, and it doesn't really go bad.
Wow. I mean, it's like it sounds perfect, quite
Mm,
frankly.
yeah.
So
I know what I'm getting you for Strongsville.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the question.
Yeah.
What do you want to do here?
I'll start. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, go for it. Bring it.
So you have some autographs. I know you like to TTM and you're buying Goonies autographs. How important is it to you that your autographs are authenticated by a reliable, reputable third party authenticator?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. So, yeah, how do I answer this? When I I have bought autographs that I believe to be real that I sent to third party authenticators, which came back not real.
Hmm.
And I believe that the authenticator was wrong, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Um, I have also bought a lot of authenticated ones. I feel like I've had enough instances where a card came back as not authentic that I just assume buy it authenticated for the most part now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, uh, so our friend Tony, Southern Collector 14, he's got a good buddy Tim, who's just an awesome guy. I don't know if you met Tim. He was at Shoeless Joe's the night that we hung out.
Yep. Yep.
So Tim and his dad used to just go autograph hunting, and they would just go to shows and drive all over. And he had like a Roger Maris autograph that he got in person, and it came back as not authentic from PSA. I mean, he was there. So there is that element. So I haven't shown, I mean, when this airs, this will come out, but I'm gonna grab something real quick. So 5 seconds of dead air.
Or you could just pause it.
Pause it.
Yeah. You just pause it. Click on the pause
This
button.
one came yesterday. This is my
Oh, Mikey.
Mikey
Yeah.
Sean Astin
Yeah.
uh autographed Goonies card.
1985 Goonies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 85. I didn't know if the card was a different year, but yeah. So I now have I have the main four.
Yeah. I'm
I'll
jealous.
eventually. Yeah. So that was, yeah, it does matter to me. It does, because the way I see it is they will make more mistakes saying that's not authentic than it is authentic when it's not. I think that the companies they will err on the side of caution, because if, let's just say that hypothetically you and I had some autographs and we wanted to fake them, and we make a video of ourselves signing them, and then we send them into PSA and they get through and they come back as authentic. And then we go, ha, look at us. We exposed you. We have the whole thing on tape. Like, that would be really damaging to them. That
Yep.
would be really damaging. So I genuinely feel like their accuracy rate of saying yes is really high. I think their accuracy rate of saying no is much lower. I think there are a lot of authentic ones that come back unauthentic or inauthentic. I don't know what the right term is, versus the opposite. So I do lean towards wanting an authentic one. My chunk auto is not authenticated, but I have the how do I say this? I have, what is the series of steps of who's owned it, whatever
Provenance.
the provenance of the card was signed at a show, at a private signing.
Yep.
So I know it's real, even though I don't have it authenticated yet, but I'm probably going to send it in just because I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like I should, even though I don't necessarily need to. So let me spin it around and ask you, what do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't think PSA is saying this is not authentic because it says questionable authenticity. I think what they're
Good
saying
point.
is we can't authenticate this. We're not comfortable authenticating this. And I bet that there is a significant chunk of those questionable authenticities that they know are fraudulent, but they're not going to come out and say that. They will just say questionable authenticity because there are some of them. You see a lot of people who had in person, like the example you cited, and PSA says this is questionable authenticity. We can't authenticate this because it doesn't come close to any of their what's the word, exemplars for that person. Now, for me, I did a lot of TTM for a couple of years, 22 and 23, and those ones I don't really care about getting them authenticated. I will at some point. I'll do. I mean, I'm going to start chipping away at some of my old autographs through CGC JSA, but it's I like buying already authenticated autographs now. I went through a phase where I was only buying them that raw, unauthenticated, but now I do this way. It's I don't know. It's easier for me because then I don't need to send it off to get authenticated at some future date. If I decide to sell, which if you want to sell your cards, we are good friends with Chris Sewell, and he sponsors Surface Issues. He wants your collections. You should reach out to him at sewellsportscards@gmail.com. If you're interested in selling part or all of your collection, email him. His email address is in the description to this video or podcast, or you can go to sportscardclubhouse.com. And what is the link? Partners or something like that? Friends?
Yes, it's partners.
Yeah. And reach out to him. Offer him your collection. He'll give you the fairest deal imaginable. sewellsportscards@gmail.com. And in fact, my episode this weekend, which will come out before this actually, but I'm recording with Chris again. 2 weeks in a row with Chris.
Well, Chris is fantastic. And his episode last week, I listened to it finally last night. I'm always a little bit behind on, well, not always, but I'm usually a little bit behind. And his episode about dealing with the guy who got back into the hobby and was buying into breaks and was opening wax and then trying to sell this stuff. It is devastating. And I've always really liked Chris, but man, I like him even more after listening to the way he handled that whole thing. What a good dude, man.
Yeah. Hey, while we're on this kind of self-promotion thing here, promoting Sports Card Clubhouse, you recorded a podcast-only episode with Ash that I listened to Tuesday afternoon, hours after it came out, on my drive home from work, and it was fantastic. I had never talked to Ash before. I've been to his table. He's amazing. His booth, I should say, at the National. I'd never talked to him. I've never even heard him talk before. And what a smart, charismatic dude. I would listen to that weekly if you guys wanted to do that. I thought it was really, really good.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'd had him on the channel a couple of times previously. In fact, I was first introduced to him about this time, 2024, through a mutual friend. And he came on, and the first time or two he came on, you could tell he was like, well, I don't really know who this guy is that I'm talking to. So he was a little bit guarded. And then, he and I text a lot. I mean, we're very friendly. And he's like, let's do that more regularly. And I was like, okay. He's like, what about like once a month? I'm like, let's do it. And so for the last like 2-3 months, we've been talking about doing it more regularly. And again, I've spoken to him on the phone many times. We've texted many times, in person many times. And so I wasn't sure if he was still going to be kind of guarded. So I was kind of like, well, we'll see how this goes. And dude, he just let it rip. Like
Yeah.
he was really good. In fact, he texted me this morning and he said, "Has there been much like feedback or any comments?" And I'm like, "Well, we agreed that we would do this as a podcast only, and podcast only doesn't really have a lot of comments. It's more of a listen like you're listening to the radio. It's not like I mean, there is a way to comment, but it's not really something that people do. So it's like there haven't been, but anecdotally, I had a lot of people say that was really interesting. So I appreciate that, and I will pass it on to him. But yeah, we're planning on doing that about once a month, and then I'm going to try to do a second podcast only, because I've mentioned this many times to you. I love what we're doing right now. I just recorded with Mike Moynihan earlier in the week. I recorded with Darren earlier in the week, and this is my favorite thing at this point. And I know that this doesn't get crazy views. Like my views are down. The last 6 months are the lowest my views have been in 2 years. But I enjoy this more. And so if I was, I mean, when people say, "Greg, you're clickbait," I'm like, "You're crazy." Although I did I did have a video today that said, "I'm selling my cards," which was the title of an episode with Theo on the CIA auction, because I have 8 cards on the current CIA auction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think of myself as a clickbait guy. But anyway,
You're
so
not.
I appreciate the kind words. Very nice of you. Okay, so here's my question. My first question back to you for
Mhm.
dueling questions. So the banjo's been playing, now it's guitar time. You're the banjo, I'm the guitar. Um, I I've had a lot of people over the last week respond to some of my thoughts about Strongsville, and I've heard some other people respond to some thoughts about Strongsville, um, and a lot of people are saying, "I don't understand how the YouTube community is upset about Strongsville being changed or different or whatever, because you guys are the reason it changed." So my question is, and I can read, I have a comment queued up if you want me to read it to go further into this if you want. But do you think that we ruined Strongsville, the YouTube community?
Well, ruined it, I think, is a little bit too strong of a word. You found something that you loved. I should say we, even though I've never been before until hopefully 3 months from now. You found something you loved, you promoted it, you said, "This is awesome," and then it became corporate because it became so popular. It outgrew the location it was at and probably became an appealing merger target for this. I don't know. I assume this other show is much bigger. And yeah, I think that is definitely a valid point, but I don't think there should be criticism. Are they criticizing the YouTube community over it?
I don't necessarily. I mean, I'll want me to read the comment. It's
Let's
a
read it. Yeah.
fairly lengthy comment, and I will say
R-
this: this is a
Read parts
friend
of it.
of mine. This is a friend of mine who left this comment. He is anonymous to the YouTube world, and
Mhm.
nobody would know him in this community or people, but some people anyway. I'll read it. It's fairly lengthy, but here we go. With all due respect, Strongsville was pretty darn awesome pre-YouTuber convergence. As a collector that traveled 2,000 miles to attend to pre 2024 Strongsville shows solo and with one of my sons, the Strongsville show was pretty darn near perfect. It was gritty, old school, raw, and relatively sleepy, with incredible dealers and terrific vintage. Hall of Famers mingled with collectors. In fact, I had the pleasure of driving a Hall of Famer to the airport early one morning. The people were great, and it did not require the presence of YouTubers to make it special. It was held at the hotel in the ballrooms. That changed in 2024. I met Mr. Petty and Darren that year and really enjoyed that. Terrific people. But the horde of YouTubers really changed the vibe. You've all seen it. How many YouTube videos yapped on and on about it's only 100 days till Strongsville, almost Strongsville, and the frat house vibe at Strongsville. Those videos got clicks. Hooray for monetization. But it was overhyped by many who had never even been to Strongsville. In 2024, the clown cars descended and it changed. In 2025, I hear it was really something. For those of you who are feeling displaced and or griping about it, how many of you came for the first time in 2024 or 2025? I recall Chris from Missouri in 2023, the pre-YouTube version of himself. But honestly, not many of the come lately guys knew what the show was all about, had never been, and are making this about themselves. For those people, you are the reason the show changed. Before feeling too sorry for yourselves, imagine how the pre-2024 Strongsville attendees feel. The promoters of the show are not to blame. It got too big and too corporate. YouTube is a big corporation too.
I love that comment. The passion, and this person is not name calling. It's a very well thought out, very passionate comment, and that I love that comment from whoever that is. I think that there are a lot of valid points there,
Yeah.
but when you love something and it grows, that's just kind of what's going to happen. And I think for me, I've never been before, so I've never promoted Strongsville. I've never had a video about Strongsville, but I I wouldn't even be mad at the organizers if they had let the YouTube community, let the vintage community, past attendees know that they're moving it and give a little bit more time. There were a lot of people who had hotel rooms, including me, in Strongsville. And what if we hadn't been able to cancel those?
Yeah.
And we had to eat that money or stay in Strongsville and then commute. I think it's like 30 miles into Independence.
Do you follow Dave Portnoy much?
No.
So Dave Portnoy of Bench Clear, not Bench Clear.
Yeah. I know who he is.
What is his show is? What are they?
If you hadn't said Bench Clear, I'd have it.
Dave Portnoy. I don't know why my brain is
Presidente.
Yeah, El Presidente.
Too much of a loudmouth for me.
Barstool Sports.
Barstool Sports. Yeah.
So he has this thing he does. It's pizza reviews.
Yes,
and
I'm familiar.
And
he's been into Maine a few times, and it's a big deal when he comes into Maine.
Oh, I love his pizza reviews. Like it's entertaining. They're funny. He's very raw in his takes on it. I enjoy them. Some people I know hate them. I find them funny. So when they come across my TikTok feed, I watch the whole thing. And what he does is he goes to different pizza joints and then he reviews it. And there's so much of a following and so much of a following of what his opinion is of a pizza place that if he gives a place a good review, the place is slammed for months.
Yeah.
And imagine being the guy who loves his local little pizza joint and has been going there every Thursday afternoon, after work, and gets his pizza and his beer and he loves it. And then Dave Portnoy shows up and Dave Portnoy goes, "This pizza is the best pizza I've ever had." And then that guy can't go back to his pizza place.
Yeah.
That's kind of not kind of, that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
And so you don't think we ruined it. You think we changed it.
Well, I think it was ruined for that person and anybody else who was passionate about where it was and how it was. But yeah, I mean, the change is definitely due to popularity, increased popularity, which was brought on by the YouTube community. I agree with that person in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I do too. And my response was that. And then I texted him as well. I said I agree with you. In fact, I went on Mike Moynihan's channel for the first time in 2 years this week. That video posted today, and I said almost word for word what your comment states. The YouTube convergence on the show changed it and is ultimately responsible for its changing. I can't disagree with it. He's dead on, and it is well written because he's an insanely intelligent person. Okay, so we've each asked one question. Your turn for question number. This is actually pretty fun. I like this.
Yeah.
Question number 2 from you.
Yeah. So this is a real life example, and you're going to recognize it immediately. But this was something that I've been thinking a lot about. So you have been looking for a card for 3 years. It is a grail for you. There are only 30 of them graded.
I already know what it is.
Yes.
Yes.
There are 30 of them graded among the
Yes.
4 big graders.
Are there only 30 really of
I
this
think
card?
it's been weeks since I looked, but I'm pretty sure it's in the 30s.
Oh wow, I didn't
But this
know
is
that.
random. This is not that specific
Sure,
example,
sure,
of course.
sure it is. Of course.
And it comes up, your eBay alert hits, and there is that card, and it is a stunner. It's the perfect grade for you. It looks amazing. And you text your group, your one of your friend groups of hobbyists and say, here's my card. Hypothetically,
Yeah.
here's my card. And somebody else says, holy cow, I've been waiting for that for years too. And I already had it on my watch list as soon as it popped up this morning. Here's why I
It was
want it. And
hypothetically, it popped up the previous night while the other
Sure.
person was still sleeping, but hypothetically. But go ahead.
Sure. And then that person says, here's why it's so important to me. And you think, would you rather have the card that you've been waiting for years or the friendship? Because you can't have both.
Oh, are you saying that our friendship was put into question here?
No, what I'm saying is, if I had bid on that card, knowing how important it was to you, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself.
Well, that's a little extreme.
No, I don't think so. That's just the way I am. As soon as you texted back saying, I'm watching that card. It's been super important to me for years, and here's why. I was like, boop, I'm out.
Okay. So hypothetically, let's just, I mean, I don't want to expose the card yet because when this podcast drops, it's the same day my video is going to drop. So if you're listening to this also, and it's on Saturday, the 10th,
I can't wait
January,
for that video.
I have a video that came out today. And as I recorded the video, which I did last night, I recorded the video last night about the edition. I was holding back tears as I mean, it's a really, a really important card to me. I first of all, I think that bidding on a card that I'm an analogy guy. And so the instant analogy that comes up to me is when you're in high school and you and your buddy kind of secretly like the same girl. And you both have your eye on this girl, and your buddy says, "Hey, dude, I think I'm going to ask her out." And you're like, "That's the girl I was going to ask out." What do you do? What do you do in that situation? Do you step aside? Because I had multiple times, I had that situation before. And what I always did is I always stepped aside. I think that it depends on the look in the person's eye. Like if the look in the other person's eye for the card is you can tell that it's greater than your own. You look and you go, this person wants it more than me, so I'm gonna step to the side on this one. If the person they like it and yeah, they've wanted it and yeah, this one popped up, I think that's a little bit different. Definitely don't bid against your friend. You and your friend have to decide who's going to go for this one, because otherwise it's like the Fonz and Richie going for the same girl, and it's
And
not gonna
clearly, I'm
go
the
well.
Fonz here.
Of course, you're the Fonz.
Hey.
So I think that you just have to read the situation on on where each person's heart is. Is this a card that they would really like, or is this the card that they really want?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, that this is not the first time this has happened with us. At the National, there
Oh,
was the
sure.
Cy Young. Now that was a lot different. Like that was a card that
I wasn't sold on that. Was one where I was like, I would love to really consider buying it.
yeah, the card in question, I feel like we're gonna expose what it is if we keep talking, but the card in question is definitely rarer,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it is definitely, a lot of them are pretty beat up.
Yep.
And it's also interesting because too, but this was sort of a potential saving grace is this card doesn't come up, and then 2 ended on the same night.
Within, like, a
So
minute of each other.
no, it was more than that. It was like 30 minutes of each other.
Okay.
And so what it actually gave us it was like you were like, I can tell this means more to you than me, even though I really, really want it. This means more to you than me. So you go for the more premier example, and I'm going to go for the quote unquote lesser example. And mine ended first, and I got it, and yours ended second, and you bid way higher than I thought you were going to have to go, way higher than comps, and didn't get it. So it could have had a really happy ending, but it didn't.
It would've been so much fun. But I
Oh,
didn't know about the second one for days after deciding not to bid on the one you were going for, because
oh, really?
you had mentioned there was another one, but
Yeah.
you didn't say where it was, and I couldn't
Oh,
find it anywhere, and it wasn't until I
oh,
reached out to Mark at Auction Wire and said, "Hey, this, this card, the one that you were going to bid on,
isn't popping up
isn't popping up," and he
because
said,
they had the wrong year.
"No,
Oh,
the one that you were bidding on had the right year, but it wasn't popping up," and he said, "That's weird, you're right, I'm gonna work on it, but I did find this one," and it was 19 it was the year later, they had put the wrong year, and I was like, "Ha ha," and that's when I texted you and said, "Is that other one you found because it's the wrong year?" And you said, "Yes," and then I said, "Okay, I'm gonna bid on that one."
I knew about both of them the whole time.
I could not find it. I
That's
looked
so weird. You should
everywhere for the
if
other
I
one.
had known you were looking, I had them both because I am an insane eBay saved search person.
Me too.
So I will go if hypothetically this was a card of T206 Ty Cobb Red, I would say T206 Ty Cobb Red PSA, T206 Ty Cobb Red SGC, T206 Ty Cobb, you know, Cobb, a T206. Like I put in like anything that anybody could possibly do. So whenever these rare, quote unquote, rare cards pop up, they always hit one of my searches. And
Smart.
sometimes they don't hit all of them, but this one I knew about both, which is super interesting. And I do think one of the reasons that the one I got went for less is because there was sort of a backup. Like if
Mhm.
you don't get it, there's this other
Yeah.
one. And then the other one ended up going pretty high.
Yeah, for sure. Disappointingly high. But
Have I
I guess
sent you pictures of the card? Because the card came in the mail
no.
yesterday.
I can't wait to see the
Oh,
video.
I'm gonna send it to you
I
right
can't wait to see the
now.
video.
I'm gonna send it to
I
you mid video.
for me though, cards are nowhere near as important as friendships. And I think that a lot of people will nod their heads as they're listening. I would never feel good about bidding on or especially winning a card that you wanted.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that. I think that is undeniable, and I think that
And by the way, just let me just finish here for a sec, because I
Okay.
think that people bid on cards their friends, and I'm not criticizing people who bid on cards that their friends are bidding, because a lot of people have rare cards, and it's just one person against the other mentality, which is fine. It's just I couldn't do it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I just sent you a picture of it.
Whew.
The I
Yeah.
the back
Wow.
has a
The
little there.
color.
I know. There's a little paper loss on the back and I'll send you a picture of that later.
I almost
Um,
flipped my phone over to see the back. That's that's not gonna work. Oops, I just showed it.
no, I looked, you didn't quite.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. These cards are just things. They're things at the end of the day.
Yep.
And I love these things, but these things are a medium for me to be able to make the friends and have something in common with the friends and I mean, I'm going down to the Burbank West Coast Card Show, whatever, in LA in February. And honestly, I'm going to try really hard not to buy anything. I mean, and I'm going to spend like six or $700 on the trip
Yep.
to go to the show. And I don't think I'm going to buy anything. I'm basically taking six or $700 out of my card funds to go
Mhm.
down and hang out with some friends. And I've got 4 or 5 friends, my buddy Dave with the amazing collection, Tony, Petty, Josh rated rookie. There's a bunch of people that are going to be there and I'm like, it's worth taking $700 out of my card account to go hang out with my card friends. So I could have bought a $700 card, but I'd rather hang out with my card friends instead. So,
Yep.
all right. I wrote down 4 questions and I used one of them and we have time for me to ask my last one. I'm gonna go with not one I was expecting to. Okay, I want you to pick 2 cards. 2 cards. This is currently January 8th, 2026. Let's fast forward to January 8th, 2036. What are the 2 cards? 2. Not player, not maybe something from the 54 top set. 2 specific cards that you think 10 years from today will have gone up the most in value. Now I know everybody, oh, value. I don't talk about value. Okay. I'm asking you about value. What are the 2 cards that you think will go up the most in the next 10 years?
I think that card you just bought.
You can't say that. You don't really believe that.
I do. I think
Really?
yeah, I think that segment of the hobby, and I'm gonna be very careful not to spoil anything, so people go and watch your video. That segment of the hobby has a ton of potential, and that specific card, stunning. It's just outrageous. At some point, there's going to be grading that is better for eye appeal, and there's little things like MBA, and there's
Yeah.
eyeappeal.com, but there's going to be something on slabs outside of the MBA stickers
Yeah.
that improves the value of a PSA 1 or a PSA Authentic or whatever the best grading company is going to have something about eye appeal other than giving a half point better grade. Something that says this card is a banger
Yeah.
for any collector. And that's the type of card. That's what I love is those very low grade, high eye appeal cards.
Yeah.
So 2 specific cards. Let's just say it's going to be the same ones that are wildly popular and skyrocketing in value now. The 52 mantle is,
So the 52 mantle, from an investment standpoint, you think will see the most appreciation in 10 years? One of the 2.
yeah, because as we add more and more millionaires to the country and the world, and more people talk about diversifying their retirement and their portfolios and moving into sports cards, assuming that we stay on this track, assuming that nothing changes,
Mm-hmm.
the more famous that mantle and the more desirable it becomes. And we know the supply is only going up because people are finding them. And once you find one, it stays in the hobby, right? It's not going to, once it's found in somebody's attic or in somebody's basement, it's not going back into an attic or basement again. But not going up by much. It's
Yeah.
staying quite static, less than the number of millionaires we're gaining.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the type of card that will be famous for a century.
Okay. So that was your first card, right? Or are you saying that your second card was the card that I just bought? Are you not going to pick another one?
No, the second card is probably going to be the 89 Upper Deck Griffey, which
No
has got.
way.
Think about it
No
this way.
way.
Think about it this way. That card was, I was 10 years old when it came out. I'm 46 now, almost 47. And I am just now at a point where I can afford decent cards. My generation, getting into their mid 40s. And then I was like the youngest, right? Well, that's not the way I wanted to say this. You're going to have people in there who are in their 30s now in 10 years able to afford that card more. And the PSA 10 is probably, I think right now it's at a peak. It's going to come down, but in 10 years, it's going to be up.
So there are four there are 4,232 tens.
Mm-hmm. In 10 years, there'll probably be, I don't know, 5,000 of them.
Yeah, at least, because people with nines are going to keep submitting them. Eights, there are 45,000 eights. Wow, I am really surprised to hear you say that. I'm really surprised. Okay. Hey, I mean,
I don't want to say something boring like a Shohei Ohtani numbered to 5.
there's no such
rookie.
thing as a boring answer.
Nah, it's just stupid.
Okay.
What 5 people can ever
Do you
own
think
that card.
Shohei cards will be worth exponentially more in 10 years? Do you think?
I do.
mean, yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're at 42 and a half minutes. Anything else you got for me? Any fluff news or no, nothing new on fluff.
No, but we're gonna make fluff sandwiches at Strongsville.
I mean, of course we are. Yeah. So next week we will find a way to record, but we'll have to record early because I will when our video drops, I will be like at the happiest place on earth. But we'll still find a way. So if you're out there, just know we'll still be recording something. And yeah, Strongsville, we're getting there. It's gonna be fun. New changes, and yes, I agree that we definitely affected it a lot, and I hope that we didn't ruin it for too many people. So that's it. We're done.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Thanks.